Hello, Narnach here. Welcome back to Grim Dawn. We have arrived in the Broken Hills, so it's time to hunt harpies.
That skill's not ready.
Hello there. Mutated skills. What did you do again? Health and health. There are worse things than mutated skills to find. So for this episode we are gonna look for a Lutra and the Abandoned, and I'm gonna ignore the Markovian Undercity. And for another episode, maybe the next episode even, we'll go to the Steps of Torment. I think I called it Undercity before, but I meant the Steps of Torment, the other undead place. So Steps of Torment, you would go up because there's a path there. I'm not gonna go there. Instead, we're pushing left. And eventually we will end up at the Smuggler's Pass. There's always a lot of stuff to murder here. Broken Hills, then you got the other hills. What are they called again? You got the Barren Highlands next door. It's great dealing with these boars, since they just charge you and they murder themselves. And even most of the harpies are pretty good at killing themselves. I like damage for retaliation.
That skill's not ready.
It really works for us. So, after last episode, and just note, I just discussed the Messenger of War. I had a bit of a look around, and there's actually a very nice purple constellation to take in or as a step up, and that is the Wolverine, which we can find down here. Defensive ability, piercing retaliation, more retaliation damage, defensive ability, retaliation damage, and more defensive ability. So this is a really nice defensive one. And then after this we grab the Messenger of War up here. And after that we can actually make our way towards the Obelisk of Menhir, because we don't really need a lot, because we already got a lot of blue stuff. Especially now once we get the Shield Maiden. So no, we got the Shield Maiden and everything, and then we can just grab the Lizard, and then we can just go straight to the Obelisk of Menhir, because well, 100% increased all retaliation damage is pretty juicy in the later stages of the game. Stone form is pretty nice. And after this we can actually grab Targo the Builder as well, because it has a chance on attack, damage, reflection ability. But the skills of Ulkama is just generic defensive thing. It seems indeed a better idea to just swap it out for more retaliation. So there you have it. Let's see. I think from here we could go to the left. That's one of the nice things about games like this. You can theory craft all you want, but because there's just so many options, it's really easy to overlook things that might even seem really obvious. But that's really why I enjoy the lovely community that has formed around the channel. And the valuable feedback I get from you. Because in the end, together we make this into a nice build. And it makes it into a nice series. Okay, is that a big one? No, that's two big ones even. Fun.
That skill's not ready.
So, good thing is these guys, they will just slowly kill themselves. Hopefully not including me. That would be bad. But it definitely helps that we do a lot of retaliation damage here. Look at all that loot. Loot, 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 loot. And then Lutra is over here. Hello. All by your lonesome. Oh. Not so alone anymore. How are you? But everything that's charging is just melee, so we know how to deal with that. Pretty darn harshly. Okay, we can go back to the ghost to claim the quest, and I did see a devotion shrine light up a bit further ahead, so that seems like a good place to go.
I can't do that yet.
The bridge with scary stuff on the other side. No, that's not this bridge. We need a polished emerald. Yeah, we didn't happen to find one, so it's gonna be a quick town stop. Just emptying our pockets again. That's a pretty poor shield. That's caster stuff. Damage only, really bad. Pierce resist, fire resist. Slightly more pierce resist, but there's no life on this one, so that makes it worse than what we currently have. Nope, not good at all. Is this better? This is actually, if you ignore the hollowed fang, it's better than what we currently have. It also has attack damage converted to health, plus a chance to gain some extra life lead. So I think I really want this. It's 25,000. It's quite expensive, but it's pretty nice. So let's upgrade our gear. So we equip this, then the old one.
Let's take a look, shall we?
We keep the add-on, so we keep the hollowed fang. We put it back, and then we remember to equip the blood drinker because it falls off if you unsocket it. And then we have a better weapon with even more life leads, so that means even more sustaining, which means even more tanking power, especially against big, scary, bad bosses. Which is arguably where you need it most. Let's see, what did we need again? We needed one of these, was it? No, that's shift click, control click. Okay, and then we can move on. Zoom zoom. Might as well speak with the lady, the ghost lady, before we port over, because she's practically next to the portal here. We did kill her daughter for her, just well, we put her out of her misery. That does give it a slightly better ring to it. It's done, she suffers no more, and we get an attribute point. Lovely, that gets us 1 point of spirit. Well, it's a ghost. We have to put it into spirit, right? That's it just wouldn't work any other way. Okay, and then Barren Highlands. That's where we gotta go. So that's that one, and we get a point, and we get some stuff with shoot lodestone. But another devotion point, which means Dryad, reduced poison and bleeding duration on us. Which means better capable of tanking stuff. Okay, so that's 3 epics, 4 epics. How many epics? Okay, this is indeed the bridge of scary things. I might be doing a lot of damage reflection and retaliation.
That skill's not ready.
But I still am not suicidal enough to just try and get surrounded. I have died in the past before to this. I have to say, do feel sturdier than before.
I can't do that yet.
Okay. Once you got a couple of them taken out, suddenly the remainder is not doing all that much damage anymore. And now it's just a matter of hoovering up all the loot and then taking out what's left. So that was an oracle, and then see what's down here. So I think we triggered all the epics, but might be that one of them stayed behind. But yeah, if you are not a pretty tanky character, yeah, see there's another 2 here. So the Etherean, yeah, that's just ether damage. Okay, I don't want to face you not in the middle of a bush. Also, did that one blink? I think it blinked in. Void touched and the other is corrupted. But now being able to see what they are doing and just how they are stacking damage on top of you. Definitely useful. Okay, one of them is gone. This one is nearly gone as well.
I can't do that yet.
Okay. But yeah, as a caster, this could be a pretty tough fight, or as a not tanky character. Anything useful in here? That's a bunch of extra armor, lightning resist, poison resist. Would be nicer if one of them was piercing resist, because that's what I actually care about. 40 pierce retaliation, but no tanky mods. Nothing truly useful. Well, we're slowly getting to the point where most of the gear we find are not going to be upgrades anyway. This is decent though. Piercing resist, which is not maxed yet. And lightning, which is so. I think we'll put this one to the side. And we'll see about swapping into it.
That skill's not ready.
But yeah, that was the bridge of many epics. If my count was correctly, that was 4 initially and then another 2 afterwards. So that's 6 epics near the bridge. That's definitely something that's pretty scary if you had to face them all at the same time.
I can't do that yet.
Oh, look, it's another epic. Malexna the Stormweaver. So that's a souped up oracle. But they're all dead now. Speaking of dead, I believe this is a dead end. Yep, it is.
That skill's not ready.
Oh yeah, from here you can go to the other side as well. But there's no real point in doing that. Oh, look, more harpies.
I can't do that yet.
Time to head west towards the Smuggler's Pass. Hey, Elsa.
Watch your back. Trust no one.
So, yeah, we were looking for Elsa, who was, well, actually, the dude back in town was looking for her. So, her name is Elsa, and a mutual friend is looking for you. You can only assume you mean Mornay. Idiot nearly got me killed out in old Markovia. Bandits got us in the night, and drawn to his damned fire. They tied me up and dragged me back towards their camp, propped to sham me with the rest of the gang. Shame for them, they weren't very good at tying knots. I slit their throats while they slept and made off on my own. So why didn't you return to Mornay? Well, I thought he was dead, but no, he's back in Devil's Crossing makes me even less inclined to return. He's not a bad man, but I can't stand to have him falling all over me like a replacement for his dead wife. He believes there is some great romance between us and refuses to accept that I have no such feelings. So should I tell him you're alive? It might be better that he believes me dead. The last thing I need is a lovesick fool pursuing me through this hellish world. What do you mean by another from Devil's Crossing? Encountered another survivor from Devil's Crossing just recently who convinced me that Homestead was a place where I could help make a difference. Never got a name, but he cooked a fine meal and told me many remarkable stories about political intrigues in the time of the Empire. Then he set off by himself. If you were headed to Homestead, why didn't you join him? He just got up in the dark of night and told me he was heading on, as he had urgent business in Homestead. I warned him that it would be wise to wait until while the trolls and ethereals fought it out in Smuggler's Pass. But he said he could pass unseen between them if he was alone. It sounds crazy to me, but he was a likable fellow, and I hope he fared better than I expected. Well, you're always welcome back in Devil's Crossing. Thanks, but I have no plans to return there. I'd rather find my fate on the open road. Alright, farewell. So this is the Elsa Mornay was asking us to look for, and per her wishes, we shall not tell him anything.
I can't do that
The
yet.
other stranger, of course, no, the cook, is none other than the first blade of the Emperor.
I can't do that yet.
The dude that eventually will fight at our side against the Logorian. And then promptly goes missing. Speaking, of course, of none other than
That skill's
Ulgrim.
not ready.
Let's see, can we... No, there's nothing behind there.
That
Some
skill's not
beastkin
ready.
surrounded by beasts. It does seem to make sense. Some blade arcs, but it's always pretty nice if you get surrounded. Warcry also helps quite a bit. Blitz is pretty useful. Now, a lot of skills we have are really good for dealing with just being completely surrounded by groups of mobs, and we fare pretty darn well against them. We are actually at our weakest when we are facing down a single foe, a boss for example. Definitely our weakest point.
Skill's not ready.
One of the upsides, of course, of being surrounded by lots of mobs is that we can leech a lot of life from all those surrounding mobs.
That
I believe
skill's not
currently
ready.
we have 14% life leech. Just should double check that. 14. Where was it here? There, lifesteal, 13%. 13 on the main hand and 5 on the offhand. So even our shield slams leech 5%. Which is definitely not a bad thing to have. The 5% is of course
That skill's
thanks to
not ready.
the ring we picked up that gave us some global life leech. Everything else is from our main hand weapon.
I can't do that yet.
Okay, that was them. So what's happening over here? There's the bunch of harpies. Oh no, it's more harpies. Cursed Oracle.
That
Death
skill's
Wind.
not ready.
They just keep coming in waves. And they never really leave anymore. Some more beastskin. Oh, Hellmane, burning. Ah, this is Ipen. Let's do some blade arcing here. We are on this side of the wall. Ah, they actually managed to get through.
That
Cool.
skill's not ready.
So this burning chap does quite some damage. A bit more than everything else before. But, well, we can deal with it. Definitely curious to see how things are gonna scale the further we get into the game. one thing that is important is going to be to keep our health regen at a pretty decent level and to keep upgrading our weapon so at least our attacks are doing more
That
damage.
skill's not ready.
I mean, our resistances, the top row is in pretty good shape. We just need to work more on the bottom row, of course. And once we have that in a decent shape, we are pretty good for normal. But well, as I said before, we are gonna play and we're gonna see how far we get. But that also means if we finish normal, I'm gonna continue on elite. So this, yeah, it might mean that at some point we're actually gonna have to look at getting more than 80 in all the resistances.
That skill's
No.
not ready.
It actually, well, comes out pretty well, because the further you get, the more resistances there are gonna be. So it's just a matter of just making sure to keep upgrading your gear, and over resisting is gonna be a doable thing. But for now, we're just gonna focus on just making it through normal difficulty or veteran difficulty in one apiece. Because, well, that's difficult enough already at times. As I mentioned, we're not gonna do the obviously suicidal things. No, we're gonna avoid quite a bunch of the very challenging side content, at least for now. Maybe later, once I feel pretty comfortable and sturdy, we might take on some of the more risky content. But until we have a really good reason for it, I'm gonna avoid it for the sake of just making progress in the game rather than adding even more challenge to something that's already challenging by itself. I mean, so far I haven't managed to finish veteran mode without dying once with any of my previous characters. So if we manage to make it to elite, if we manage to defeat the Logorian without dying, I'm counting myself lucky. Let's see, we found quite some stuff. Let's do a final sorting through the gear, and then we're gonna end this. Ooh, what's this? Battle Cry, 5% chance when hit. Increases total speed and all damage. That's it's almost the fighting spirit that we got over here. 5% chance when hit, so it triggers defensively, but it increases our damage output. Also, it increases health, defensive ability, and reduces stun duration as fixed properties. There's no resistances, that is annoying. This might be worth considering, though. Yeah, it's annoying to lose pierce resist. I'm gonna put it aside so we can think about it a little bit. Boots with more armor. And this one is better. Wait. Oh, we're not in the shop anymore. Now we're in the shop, yes. We'll get rid of this one. Guns. Level 35, that's slightly advanced for us. Ooh, lightning resist, poison resist, no piercing resist, that's annoying. Yeah, we already filtered through most of these things. Does make it easy. Health regen, again no pierce resist. Yeah, so we already look at most of these things. That no helps. Oh, an amulet. Skull fetish of the squalls. Caster damage types. Puny amount of health regen and a lightning sphere on attack, which is not a type we synergize really well with. So we're just gonna ditch that one and be done with it. This is interesting as well. It would be a downgrade and there is less life leech on it than what we currently have, though I do like the design of the axe. It looks elegant. But of course we're looking for effective weapons, not elegant weapons. So there you have it. As always, I'm gonna thank you very much for watching and I will see you again next time when we head for the Markovian Undercity. Bye bye.